Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Shipshe Stories Podcast, tales from the heart of Amish country. And we're going over to LaGrange today. We're going to go outside, pick some fresh lavender with Marion Wiggins from Bloomfield Creative. Marion, how are you doing today?
Good morning, or afternoon. I'm doing well. I'm sorry, I've just been out in the fields all day and I've lost track of time completely.
You're fine. No, when we set this whole thing up, you were like, I'm going to be doing it from the field while I'm, planting, picking, tending to, doing whatever. And so you're constantly doing things out there. You're constantly, whether it's at the apothecary, whether it's at the schoolhouse, or whether it's at your shop in LaGrange. So tell us about how Bloomfield Creative all got started, because you are not a local Indianan. You are a transplant. So how did that come to be?
So, well, I'm originally from Arizona and I went to college in Boston, grad school in St. Louis, and taught in San Antonio. And so I never saw myself as a small town girl or a farmer. But my husband got a job up here in 2018. He does anesthesia at the hospital, and it was an offer we couldn't say no to. And we thought, we can do anything for about 3 years. Let's give it 3 years, and we'll just kind of reevaluate. And as soon as we got here, we just fell in love with the community. We fell in love with the people. We loved the values that it placed on children and family, and I think that's really evident through our park system and our library system and our school system. And then COVID hit, right? And so we were like, okay, well, we need a project because, for those kind of people. So the schoolhouse came on the market, and I'd always told my husband, if that comes on the market, I want to go look at it. So we went to go see it and put an offer in. It was accepted. And then we had a big old building and no idea what we were going to do. So we threw around ideas for a few months, brainstorming, and we kind of landed on the idea of giving it back to the community in some way, and specifically as a venue that they could rent out, or we could host events for the community. So we worked on getting it on the National Register of Historic Places. And that took a while. It actually took a while to clean out the schoolhouse and get it to a condition in which we could see what we were working with. So since that was also laborious and time, it would take such a long time to do, we wanted to do something else with the property in the meantime as kind of a fun thing to do with our kids. So we planted lavender. We had gone to some wineries in Texas when we lived down there that had lavender, and we thought, oh, that seems kind of great. Like, it kind of thrives on benign neglect most of the year. It likes full sun, bad soil, sandy soil, and you don't really have to water it after it's well established. So we planted some lavender, and it just kind of took off from there. So by last summer, we were at farmers markets. Our first season of farmers market, actually, we sold out every weekend, just doing lavender bunches and dried wreaths and a few small products. And people would ask me, do you make lotion? Do you make candles? Do you have tinctures? Do you have oil rollers? And so I just started adding products as people were requesting them. Last year, we kind of developed a cult following with our lip balm, which was really exciting. So I now have to make that in batches of like 500, and we sell out really quickly. So then we had the schoolhouse, we had some lavender, we planted more lavender at the house. And last summer, my husband said a friend had some land that we could rent that would be perfect for growing lavender. So we planted more lavender out there, and we're up to 4,400 plants. And then so like last summer, lavender just kind of took over our house, right? With all the products, the culinary, the home products. We have a pet line, we have a kid line. And this building downtown LaGrange came on the market, and it was kind of in rough shape, but only cosmetic, not structural, no kind of crazy engineering needed to be involved. And my husband said, I can fix that up. I can do that. So we bought the storefront in September, I believe it was. of last year and opened in November. So now Bloomfield Creative owns and operates Bloomfield Schoolhouse Lavender Farm with lavender on-site and off-site. We have the storefront downtown. And then we purchased the Standard, Bloomfield, what we're calling it the Bloomfield Standard, the old LaGrange Standard Publishing Company building. Our focus changed from events to full-on in agriculture, full-on lavender. And it's been a blast. It's been a huge learning process. You don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But through it all, it's been so much fun meeting the community members who have ties to the schoolhouse or ties to this building, and just making friends. That's honestly my favorite part of being at the store, is just meeting people and developing relationships with people in the community that we wouldn't have otherwise crossed with.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to continue talking about the community relationships you've made, because it's not only the friendships that you've developed, but since you've been here, and you've only opened September, October of 2024. So it hasn't been that long, but you've kind of blown up in such a way that you're working with restaurants in town to make, they have lavender drinks or lavender desserts. So how did that come to be? Did you ever see that as being a possibility?
Well, I love the quote that collaboration happens at the top and competition happens at the bottom. And I truly believe that everyone in this community is working to make it a better place. And when one person succeeds, we all succeed, right? So, approaching these businesses and asking them if they want to partner just seemed like a natural progression of building community. So some of them are places that I approached. I went in with a little handwritten note and some culinary products, and was like, hey, let me know what you think. Let me know what you come up with. And they took it and ran with it. So yeah, we're now at, I have to count 3 coffee shops. Foltz's Bakery has some of our products. 2 restaurants in town. And then a variety of boutiques have purchased our products wholesale to sell. Going to be in one new little arts collective opening in Shipshe. I think all in all, Mongo Trading Post, of course, the Kingsbury and Howe. That was the first place. Onyx and Ivy Spa here in LaGrange. And Country Road Curdle Resort has our pet products over in Fair and Hall up in Colon. So I think overall, we're in like 16 or 17 different places now, between the different culinary establishments and wholesale. And I think it's 16 or 17. I'd have to count.
Yeah, but it's a never-ending process. You're growing daily, exponentially.
Yes. And really it's only possible because my husband and I do this together. He is out in the fields as much as I am. And then we hired 1 full-time employee and we have 2 part-time employees. Our full-time employee, Reese Pepler, works hard doing brand content or content management. And she's like our brand manager, and she reaches out to boutiques and places that might be interested in carrying our stuff. She also runs our Fort Wayne Farmers Market booth. And then I have 2 part-time friends who help in the storefront.
And of course, your 2 part-time kids help out.
2 part-time kids, and then, the 3-year-old who likes to sit on the counter and help people and tell them how to check out using their cards on the machine. He'll say, tap here, sign here.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, we were talking earlier, I think in the year, and back when you were at the farmers market before this whole thing started, you were telling me a story that it was just a way to, kind of show your kids, teach them, how to do business and all this stuff. And then it kind of grew from there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that first year we were at the farmers market, we thought, we'll let them keep the money and they can use it. They wanted a new playhouse. So I had them doing tallies of products that sold so we could figure out what was selling, and we made graphs on that. And then they had to do the sales transaction. So they had to make change and talk with customers and work on confidence and speaking with adults. And then they had to figure out profit for each product and then pay me back for the cost. And then they could keep the remaining money, but they sold too much. We made too much profit, and their playhouse is now spectacular.
I mean, it's a valuable lesson, and they got something out of it. And you're all doing this as a family together. It's not just you and your husband. It's literally every time I go in there, the whole family's there.
Yeah,
Your husband walks in with a coffee from next door. The kids are there, hanging out in a little glass boutique box. Running around doing fun stuff. If visitors haven't been there, it's a really cool building. What was it? An old bank. It has a vault inside of it still, right?
Yeah, there's a vault. It was a title company. So yeah, the safe is still there. The locking mechanism has been removed from the door because with 3 kids, we couldn't trust that something wouldn't happen. So that's now their playroom. And then we're working on upstairs at the store to turn that into an apartment. Currently waiting on some, I think it's called the commercial design release from the state. And then once that's an apartment, it'll be a short-term rental. Our family can stay there, or, if there's doctors going through the hospital here that need a place to stay for a couple of weeks, as, if they don't live here, but they're just working here, they can rent it out. Or, I don't know, we might put it on Airbnb or VRBO, but I think it'll be busy enough that won't be necessary. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exciting to see. It's a beautiful location. It's a beautiful, schoolhouse that you're renovating, and you're still renovating the schoolhouse, correct?
Yes. The interior work is, it has been approved by the National Park Service, and we needed their approval because we are on the National Register of Historic Places. And by getting their approval on our plans, we are eligible for a 20% tax credit on all of that work. So we'll just roll that money on into the next building.
Yeah, and keep on building up. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about, you and I went to an event in Indianapolis to promote Shipshe on LaGrange, your business, and everything we're doing at the visitor center. And while we were there, you brought in glass jars of just smelly good fragrances of lavender, soaps, and all this good stuff. And people were coming by and making their own bath salts out of it. And you said then, this was a few months ago, you were saying then this is something you want to do at the shop in LaGrange. So is this something people can do now, or is it still in development? I know people were excited to do it there, so it's a great opportunity for them to come out.
Yeah, I do have it set up as like a little center. So there's lavender Epsom salt, goat milk powder, lavender buds, bentonite clay, and magnesium flakes, and people can add their ingredients to their bath salts to customize it exactly how they want it. And then I also have what I'm calling the lavender laboratory. So I have 3 unscented ingredients, or unscented products. I have a hand lotion, a body butter, and a sugar scrub. And I have 24 different essential oils that people can mix and match to scent their product. I had people asking me for all sorts of combinations, and I couldn't keep up with all that. So I still have my lavender products, of course. I think I have over 180 different products right now in the shop. But then this way they can customize it as they want to as well.
No, it's a really fun opportunity. As I said, lots of people were coming by and just talking you up about the shop, LaGrange County in general, and just getting to make and take. It's a fun thing that we are, trying to boost up in this region, in this area, is have people come by, make and take, whatever they want, be it a pretzel at Ben's Pretzels, a basket at Laverne in T-Berry, or your shop over in LaGrange. Is there anything else you'd like to say about your shop? Any events coming up? Any cool things you've got planned for the future?
Yeah, well, we definitely, friends, give us a follow on Facebook, Bloomfield Schoolhouse Lavender. Reese is coming up with events. We're hosting different sensory play dates for toddlers. We'll be open on Friday evenings for the final Fridays, the last Friday of the month. We'll be open late for final Fridays. We're going to have different pop-up vendors come to the store Yeah. And then once the schoolhouse is open, we'll be hosting events out there as well. Wreath making classes, different product making classes, yoga. I want to do like a Santa Claus kind of Christmas party, come meet Santa Claus at the Lavender farm. So Facebook is definitely the best place to, keep a tab on all that we're up to.
Yeah. And you're always posting videos. I think every day you're on there posting a video of you just hanging out at the schoolhouse or doing, you pick, you plant. And you've got coming up, not in the, near future, but next summer, next spring, you pick. Is that correct?
Yes. That's the plan, to start you pick next year at one of our offsite fields. We do have 3 different lavender fields. We have the one at the schoolhouse, the one at our house, and then the big offsite one. And our goal is to develop that large offsite one as a U-pick farm. I don't know timeline when next summer it'll be, because like this time last year we were already cutting. Some of my plants were on a second cutting, and this year I haven't even done a first cutting yet because it's been so cold, and it was such a cold and wet spring. So, but I am planning on by next June having some sort of U-pick available out there.
Yeah. I mean, whenever it is, stick to your Facebook, stick to the Visitor Center's Facebook. We'll be talking back and forth. And you've got an Instagram as well. Same thing, Bloomfield Schoolhouse Lavender there. Website, bloomfieldschoolhouselavender.com. It's got everything you need. You can shop there online as well if you haven't visited the store. Marion, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the Shipshe Stories podcast. And thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too, Dorian.